Hello everyone. So today we're working on dividing by one-digit numbers. So we're basically continuing from our lessons from yesterday. So let's go ahead and get started. And so our essential question today, and we're on page 185, is how can you divide multi-digit numbers and check your answers? So preview a bit. Remember that inverse operations mean opposite in operations. And so the opposite of multiplication is division. So to check a division problem, we would use multiplication. It's kind of like checking a subtraction problem by adding. Okay, so students in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades made 525 origami animals to display in the library. Each grade made the same number of animals. How many animals did each grade make? So our question is what we need to find. So how many animals did each grade make? And there was 525 origami animals. And we need to look at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So that's a total of 3 grades, right? 3 grades. So we have a 525, that's our dividend, how many I need to share, and there's 3 grades that we're breaking that number into. So use place value to place the first digit. Look at the hundreds in 525. 500s can be shared among 3 groups without regrouping. So the first digit of the quotient will be in the hundreds place. Okay, so that's just like we did in our previous lesson. All right, so now divide the hundreds. How many? I can share 500s equally among the 3 groups. And I can go 3 groups, and I can put 100 in each group. So 3 times 100 is 300. When we subtract, we get 2. So 500 take away 300 gives me 200s. Okay. Now, so we have 200s left. I can't share those equally into 3 groups. So I'm going to change those 200s into 20 tens. And I have 2 tens already. So I have a total of 22 tens. So I'm going to share 22 tens equally among 3 groups. So we're going to multiply 3 times what would be close to 22? 7. 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. So we're going to subtract 22 tens and 21 tens. And that's going to leave 1 10 that cannot be shared among the 3 groups. Cannot be shared among 3 groups without regrouping. Okay, so we figured out that we can use 21 tens. That left me 110. Okay, I can't share the 110 equally in the 3 groups, so I'm going to regroup that 110 as 10 ones, and 10 ones plus the 5 ones we already have, we can share those. We can share the 15 ones. So I can share 15 ones equally among 3 groups. So 3 times what is 15? 5, right? So 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, we get 0. So 15 ones, take away 15 ones, we have 0 that are left. So our answer is each class made Each grade made 175 origami animals. Okay, so page 186. There are 8,523 sheets of origami paper to be divided equally among 8 schools. How many sheets of origami paper will each group get? So our question is, what we need to find out, right? How many sheets will each school get? We have 8,523 to share, and we have 8 schools. So the dividend is 8,523, and our divisor is 8. We're going to use place value to place the first digit. Look at the thousands in 8,523. 8 thousands can be shared with 8 groups without regrouping. So the first digit of the quotient will be in the thousands place. And it would be 1,000, right? I could put 1,000 in 8 groups. So we would multiply 8 times 1. So we get 8,000. 8 times 1,000. Subtract, we get 0. We have 0 thousands left, so there's nothing to regroup. And now we have 500s. Well, I can't share 500s equally into 8 groups. So I have to show that I can't use that place value. So 8 times 0 is 0. So I still have 500s left. I'm going to regroup those as 50 tens plus the 2 tens I already have. So I can share those. 8 times what is close to 52? 8 times 7 is 56. So it must be 8 times 6 tens. So 8 times 6 is 48. Subtract, we get 4 tens remaining. So I can't share the 4 tens equally in 8 groups. So I'm going to change those into 41s. Or regroup them as 41s. Plus the 3 that were already there. And 8 times what is 43? 8 times 5 is where we're at on that one. So 8 times 5 is 40. And we get 3 left over. 3 can't be shared equally with 8 groups, and there's nothing else to bring down, so that's got to be a remainder. So we would say 1,065 sheets per school with a remainder of 3 left over. Okay, so this is what I was talking about when I had to place this 0 here. Remember, place a 0 in the quotient when a place in the dividend cannot be divided by the divisor. I couldn't divide 5 by 8, so I had to show that by putting a 0. If it's in the first spot, we just will go ahead and go to the next place value, right? We regroup and just start there. We don't really put a 0 in front of a number. Okay. All right. So division and multiplication are inverse operations, as I mentioned earlier. You can use multiplication to check your answer to a division problem. Multiply the quotient by the divisor. If there is a remainder, add it to the product. The result should equal the dividend. So this is important that we know all of our parts of a problem, right? So the 8 in here is the divisor. The quotient is 1,065 with a remainder of 3. Remainder 3. And the dividend is inside, how many we're sharing. So if I take the quotient and multiply by the divisor, and then add anything remaining, I should get the dividend. Okay? So 1,065 times 8 is 8,520 plus the 3 that was left over, the remainder, gives me a total of 8,523, and they match the dividend. It matches the dividend. So you have the right quotient. All right, Ollie used 852 beads to make 4 bracelets. He put the same number of beads on each bracelet. How many beads does each bracelet have? So he has 852 beads, 4 bracelets, and we have to find how many beads each bracelet has. So that would be a division problem. 852 shared with 4. So I can share 800s into 4 groups. So that would be 4 times 2, which is 8. Subtract, we get 0 hundreds left. So there's no more hundreds to share with the 4 groups. I have 5 tens. I can share 5 tens with 4 groups. I would go 4 times 1, which is 4. Now I have 1 10 left. I can't share that with the 4 groups. So I'm going to regroup that 1 10 as 10 ones plus the 2 ones we already have. 4 times what is close to 12? 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 take away 12, nothing left over. So if I take my quotient and multiply by the divisor, I should get the dividend 852. So let's check our work. 213 times 4. 4 times 3 ones is 12 ones. We'll regroup that as 1 10 and 2 ones. 4 times 1 10 is 4, plus the regroup 10 is 5 tens. And 4 times 200 is 8. And they do match. Okay, so each bracelet has 213 beads. So now number 2, 3, and 4 says divide and check. I'm going to use scratch paper just to make sure I have extra room. Okay, and remember it's 394 divide by 2. I can share 2 into the hundreds. I can go 2 times 1. That gives me 2, leaving me 100 left. I can't share the 100 equally with 2 groups, so I'm going to trade or regroup the 100 as 10 tens plus the 9 that I already had. 2 times what is close to 19? 2 times 9, which is 18. That leaves me with 110, which I can't share equally with the 2 groups. So I'll regroup that for 10 ones plus the 4 that we already have. 2 times what is 14? 2 times 7. Subtract, we get 0. So we should have 197. Now we can check it by multiplying. So 197, the quotient, times 2, the divisor, should give me 394, the dividend. 2 times 7 is 14. We'll regroup that as 110 and 4 ones. 2 sets of 9 is 18, plus 1 more is 19 tens. We'll regroup that as 100 and 9 tens. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 100 regrouped, 3. So they do match. Okay, number 3. 803 divide by 2. Okay, we can share the 800s into the 2 groups. I can go 2 times 4. That's 8. Subtract, I get 0. Oh, 2 times 4, not 8. That's a common mistake. We get in a hurry and we put where our total was accidentally. So we are taking 4 hundreds and putting it into 2 different groups. Okay. All right. So 800 take away 800 is 0. Bring down the 0 tens. Okay. So this is a situation where I can't break up 0. So I have to just say there's going to be 0 tens in both groups. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 take away 0 is 0. Bring down the 3 ones. I can share the 3 ones into 2 groups. I can say 2 times 1. And 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract, I get 1 left over. So we're saying our answer is 401, remainder 1. So if I multiply 401, the quotient, times the divisor, 2, and add any remainders, 1 in this case, I should get the dividend 803, which I do. All right, number 4. 3,448 divide by 4. All right. I can't share 3,000 into 4 groups. And I don't need to put a 0 for the first digit because we just move over, and so we place it in the first digit that's possible. So we have 34 hundreds here. So 34. 4 times what is close to 34? 4 times 5 is 20, so it's greater than 5. 4 times 10 is 40, so it's less than that. So it's in between 5 and 9, basically. 4 times 9 is 36, so it must be 8. So 4 times 8 is 32, leaving me 2 hundreds. 2 hundreds I can't share with 4 groups, so I'll regroup that as 20 tens. Bring down the 4 tens that I already have. So now I have 24 tens to share with 4 groups. Well, 4 times 6 is 24. That leaves me 0. Okay, now I bring down my 8 ones, and I can share those equally with 4 groups. 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So we're saying our answer is 862. Notice we didn't put anything above the thousands because I couldn't share 3,000s equally into 4 groups. So if I multiply my quotient, 862, by the divisor, 4, I should get the dividend of 3,448. 4 times 2 is 8. 6 times 4 is 24. We'll regroup that as 2 hundreds and 4 tens. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 2 more. 3,448. It checks. All right, number 5. 5 through 10. Divide and check. 816. Divide by 2. Can we share 800s in 2 groups? Sure we can. 2 times 4, right? 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract, we get 0 left. So there's nothing else left to share, so I'm going to bring down the 110. And I can't share that equally into 2 groups. So I have to show that I can't do that by placing a 0 in the quotient. So 2 times 0 is 0. And I still have that 110 left. But I'm going to regroup it now as 10 ones and bring down the 6 ones. So 2 times what is close to 16? 8. And 8 times 2 is 16. 16 take away 16 is 0. So we're saying our answer for number 5 is 408. So if I multiply the quotient, 408, by the divisor 2, I should get 816, the dividend. And I do. Right? 8 times 2 is 16. Regroup that as 110 and 6 ones. 2 times 0 tens is 0, plus the regroup 10 is 1, and 2 times 400 is 800. Okay, number 6, 709 divided by 4. 709 divided by 4. I can share the 700s with the 4 groups. I can only put 1 in each group, but it can be shared equally, leaving me 300. I can't share 300 with 4 groups, so I'm going to trade that for 30 tenths, and I'm going to bring down the 0 tens. Okay. And 4 times what is close to 28? 4 times 5 is 20. 24, 28, 7. 4 times 7. That leaves me 2 tens that I can't share equally with 4 groups. So I'm going to regroup those 2 tens as 20 ones. Bring down the 9 ones that we already have. So 29 divide by 4. 4 times what is close to 29? Well, we just did it. 4 times 7. 4 times 7 is 28. Subtract, we're left with 1. But I can't share 1 equally with 4 groups, and there's no other digits to bring down. So we're going to say 177, remainder 1. 177, remainder 1. So remember, in this case, if I multiply the quotient, 177, times 4, plus any remainder, should give me 709. So 177 times 4. 4 times 7 is 28. Regroup that as 2 tens and 8 ones. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 more is 30. So I'm going to regroup that as 300s. And 4 times 100 is 400, plus the 3 regrouped, we're at 708. Well, right now that doesn't match. But I have 1 remainder. When I add the remainder, I get 709. Okay. Number 7, 267 divided by 3. 267 divided by 3. I can't share the 200 equally into 3 groups. So I'm going to regroup those as 20 tens. And now I have 26 tens. 3 times 8 is 24, leaving me 2 tens, which can't be shared with 3 groups. So I'm going to regroup those as 21s, bring down the 7 ones we already had, and 3 times 9 is 27. So we're saying our answer is 89 for number 7. We're saying our quotient is 89. So 89 times our divisor 3 should give us 267, the dividend. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 8 tens is 24 tens, plus 2 more is 26 tens, or 260 plus the 7, 267. Number 8, 1,302 divide by 6. All right, so I can't place anything in thousands because I can't share 1,000 equally into 6 groups. So we're going to go straight to 1300s. 6 times what is close to 13? 2. So 200s. 6 times 200s is 1200s. Subtract, we get 100 left. I can't share that equally with 6 groups. I'm going to trade those for 10 tens plus the 0 tens that we already have. I can share 1 10 into each group. That leaves me 4 tens. I can't share 4 tens equally with 6 groups. So I'm going to regroup those as 41s plus the 2 ones we already had. I know that 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 7, 42, with nothing left over. So we're saying number 8 should be 217. So if I take my quotient, 217, multiply by the divisor 6, I should get the dividend. 6 times 7, 42. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 more is 10 tens. I'm going to regroup that as 100. 6 times 200 is 12, plus the regrouped 100, 1300s. 1,302 matches. Move on to number 9. 9,232 divided by 8. I can share 9,000 by 8 groups. I can say 8 times 1, leaving me 1,000. I can't share that with 8 groups. So I'm going to regroup that as 100. No. 10 hundreds, right? 10 hundreds is 1,000. So 10 hundreds plus the 200s we already have is 1,200s. 8 times 100 gives us 800. We subtract that, leaving us 400s that I can't share into 8 groups. I'll trade those 400s for 40 10s plus the 3 10s we already have. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, we have 3 10s left that I can't share with 8 groups. So I'm going to rename those as 31s plus the 2 ones we already have. And 8 times 4 is 32. So I'm left with nothing. So we're saying our answer for number 9 is 1,154. If we multiply that by 8, we should get 9,232. 8 times 4 is 32. Regroup that as 3 10s and 2 1s. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 3 more is 43. 8 times 100 is 800, plus 4 more is 1,200. 8 times 1,000 is 8,000, plus 1 more is 9,000. And it matches our product matches the dividend. And number 10. 1,020 divided by 9. I can't share 1,000 equally into 9 groups, so I'm going to trade the 1,000 for 10 hundreds. And 10 hundreds can be shared into 9 groups, 1 time each. So 9 times 100 is 900, and that leaves me 100. I can't share that equally with 9 groups, so I'm going to trade that for 10 10s plus the 2 10s I already have. 9 times 1 again. That leaves me 3 10s. I can't share 3 10s with 9 groups, so I'm going to trade those for 31s plus 0 ones that we already had. 9 times 3 is the closest I can get, because 9 times 3 is 27. When I subtract that, I get a remainder of 3. I can't share that with 9, and there's nothing left to bring down. So we're saying our quotient is 113 with a remainder of 3. 113, the remainder of 3. So 113 times 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Regroup that as 2 10s and 7 1s. 9 times 1 10 is 9 10s, plus 2 more is 11 10s. Regroup that as 100 and 110. 9 times 100 is 900, plus 1 more is 1,000. 1,017. When we look over here, it doesn't match. But I haven't added the remainder yet. So let's add the remainder. 10, 2. Now they match. Okay? So multiply the quotient by the divisor and add any remainders. All right. Moving right along. Page 188. Okay, so 4 teachers bought 10 origami books and 100 packs of origami paper for their classrooms. They will share the cost of the items equally. How much should each teacher pay? All right, so 10 origami packets. No, 10 origami books. Okay, so 10 origami books. Let's put this on our paper here. So we're going to use origami books and 100 packs of paper. All right, so we got to figure out our total first, and then we can share with the 4 teachers. So 24 times 10, right? They bought 10 books of origami, and they're $24 a piece. So 24 times 10 is $240. $240 for the books. And then they also bought 100 packs of paper at $6 a pack. Well, 6 times 100 is 600. Okay, so now add them together, and we get a total of $840 to share with 4 teachers. So the 4 teachers are our groups in this case. So I can share 800 into the 4 groups of teachers. with 200 in each group, because 4 times 2 is 8. I subtract, I get 0. I'm going to bring down the 4 tens, and I can put 1 10 in each group. 4 times 1 is 4, leaving me 0. I bring down the 0 ones. I still have to show 4 times 0. Okay, so $210. Six students shared equally the cost of 18 of one of the items in the chart. Each student paid $24. What item did they buy? Well, we can figure out how much the student spent by going 6 times 24, right? That might help us get a general idea. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 2 more. So they spent $144. So which item do you think they could have bought 18 of? Because it says they bought 18 of one of these items. Well, let's eliminate something. If I bought 18 of the books, well, we know that 24 times 10 is 240. They only spent 144. So it can't be the book. Okay, so we can try 6. We can go 18 times 6. That's $108. So they didn't buy that. So let's try the 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 6 more is 14. So they bought 18 origami kits. Because 18 times 8 equals 144. And 24 times 6 equals 144. Ms. Alvarez has $1,482 to spend on origami paper. How many packs can she buy? $1,482. And she needs to spend $6 per pack for the origami paper. So we can do our work on there right here. Divide by 6. Okay. So if we put these like $6 into different groups, or how many groups of $6 is basically what we're thinking of here. I can't take 1,000 and share it with 6. So I'm going to trade that for 10 hundredths plus the 4 we already had. So 6 times 2 is 12. So that leaves me 2 hundredths. I can't share 2 hundredths into 6 groups. So I'm going to trade that for 20 tens plus the 8 tens I already had. And 6 times 4 is the closest I can get there. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract, I get 4 tens. I can't share 4 tens with the 6 groups equally. So I'll regroup those 4 tens as 41s plus the 2 ones we already have. Well, 6 times 7 is 42. So she can buy 247 packs of origami paper. Evan made an origami crane. Made origami cranes with red, blue, and yellow paper. The number of cranes in each color is the same. If there are 342 cranes, how many of them are blue or yellow? So, how many are blue or yellow? Okay, so first we need to figure out how many of each he's made. So we have red, blue, yellow. That's 3 different types of color paper. So we have 342 divided by 3. So we're going to make groups of 3 different colors. I can share 300 with 3. 3 times 1 300 take away 300 is 0 hundreds left. Bring down the 4 tens. I can share 4 tens into three groups. So 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract, we get 1 10, which I can't share. So I'm going to regroup that as 10 ones plus the 2 ones we already had. And 3 times 4 is 12. So each color is 114. So he made 114 red. He made 114 blue. And he made 114 yellow. It says blue or yellow. So it's going to be blue plus yellow. So 114 plus 114. 4 and 4 is 8. 110 and 110 is 2. 100 and 100 is 2. So he made 228 blue and yellow cranes. On Monday, 336 fourth graders went on a field trip to a local park. The teachers divided the students into 8 groups. Use a basic math fact. Estimate the number of students in each group. Show your work. All right. 336 students. Divide by 8. Well, if we want just an estimate, let's think about 8s. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Which of these multiples is closest to 33? 32, right? So we can change that to 8 divided into 320. So 32 divided by 8 equals 4. So 320 divided by 8 equals 40 students in each group. About 40 students in each group. Okay. So, boys and girls, that's it for lesson 411. We will finish chapter 4 in our next lesson, which is on problem solving. So we're kind of applying what we've learned in chapter 4. And then we'll do review for our test. So until then, may the numbers always be in your favor.